Hello, dears, and welcome to Core Talk with Ami. How are you doing? It's so good to have you back here. Hey, let's go. Hey, let's go. Hey, let's go. Hey, let's go. Hello, dears. Welcome to Core Talk with Ami. If this is your first time on my channel, please do stay back and enjoy the beautiful discussion that happens on the street. And if you are been on this street with me, hey, you rock. Welcome back one more time. If this is your first time, do not forget to click on the subscribe button and the notification bell so you'll be notified anytime a new video pops out. And if you are an already existing subscriber, please do not forget to do the usual: like, share, and comment. Your opinion also matters. After this talk, we'll continue the talk on the comment section. Let's do this. Today is going to be a beautiful day for us all, and I'm going to be talking about wedding budgets. Yeah. Why am I talking about wedding budget? Before I dive into that, I'd like to tell you a little bit of what I think wedding is about. Wedding is a beautiful thing. It is something that most people look forward to, right? It's going to be like one of the best day in my life. Wow, my wedding. Oh my goodness, I can't wait to get married. Everybody look forward to their weddings. And that's why we see that this is very important. But then I know that there are a lot of questions that people often have when they are planning their wedding. For example, I remember when I was getting married, I had a lot of questions. I had a lot of questions I needed to ask. And like you, I was also searching for some answers on YouTube. And one of the questions that I had to ask was, how much is enough for my wedding? How expensive should my wedding be? I needed to know that I wasn't going beyond the normal. And I also needed to know that I wasn't depriving myself from some of the things that I deserve. So, if that is your question, this talk is for you. Welcome back from that break. Without wasting much time, I think we need to dive into the talk proper. Like, how expensive should a wedding be? I hope I'm not going to I hope I'm not doing too much. I hope what I'm doing right now will not affect me later. I hope I'm not depriving myself of my big day. I hope I'm not missing out of something. And I get to hear a lot of people talk about this particular thing, especially from the ladies. I'll talk about the men later on. Some ladies have asked about the wedding thing and often told me, my husband was complaining that I was, adding to the list. I was adding this, I was adding that, I was adding everything. Makeup. I wanted to buy shoe. I wanted to make my hair. I want to have 3 different hair extensions for my wedding. I want to have 5 different outfits. My husband is complaining, So women often say that, oh, I hope I'm not buying too much, or I'm not doing too much. I don't want this man to keep complaining. And then on the man's perspective, is like, my wife wants to buy the whole world for the wedding, and is he not thinking about what comes next and stuff like that. So these are the things that happen usually when people are planning for their big day. In my case, it was very, very, very different, and I'll tell you why. But first of all, during the course of preparing for this talk, I actually went out to get the opinion of people on my Instagram street. And if you're not following me on Instagram, you have to do so. I am on Instagram as Ami Cares. You can see it up on the screen. Just go on Instagram and follow me. You're gonna get a lot of gists, and you're going to have a clue of what we're going to be talking about here if you follow me on my Instagram. So that's like, you're going to have like an edge, right? Yeah. Okay, so my case, it was really different. It was really, really different from that, and I'll share that point with you. A little bit of it, not everything. Not everything. When I went on Instagram to seek opinion from my friends, I got some really interesting points. I wanted to know their budgets. For example, if they are planning a wedding, or if they will be planning a wedding in the future, what will their budget be? And to be honest, I got a series of diverse opinions, and that's the beauty of it. But at the end of the day, I'm going to now narrow this down and give you my take on this, and I will also conclude. So, the first person that commented said Too much, 5 million. Okay, so I have to tell you that this is in naira, okay? So too much, 5 million naira. Too little, 500,000 naira. I want a simple wedding, at least 20 guests. Now, this person's view is, if I'm going to break the bank, like I'm going to do everything, I beg, I shouldn't spend more than 5 million naira. 5 million naira? Wow, that's a lot of money. And then she said, too little. If I'm going to really be a minimalist, I'm going to reduce everything, I'm going to just do it simple, I should spend 500,000 naira. And the conclusion she made was, I want a simple wedding, at least 20 guests. I often hear people say that women are the one who want big wedding. Is this not a lady? You haven't just found this kind of lady, right? Search properly. Okay, so let's go on. This is a difficult question. The next person says, At this point, I was like, oh, wedding budget is a difficult question? Are you serious? But let's see why. This is a very difficult question. It's not exactly about the amount, but what you want for your wedding. Wow. Okay. And it went further to say that the quality of everything, the flowers, the decor, the menu, the makeup, the dress, the venue, what do you want? And I must say that this response came from a guy. What do you want it to be? Do you want it to be just okay? Do you want it to be medium? Or do you want it to be second to none? And he went further actually to say that, do you want to have a wedding planner, or do you want to save yourself from all the drama, or do you want to be a do-it-yourself bride? Will you cook the food, or will you hire the catering service? Cook the food on your wedding? We'll see. Do you want to sleep at the venue, or you'll get to pay for an accommodation? Do you want your guests to pay for food, or will you give them when they attend your wedding? Will you hire cars to the venue, or will you allow your friends to get there on their own? Are you buying dress, or are you hiring one? With these questions and more, there were so many other questions that he didn't say. The budget will be discussed between I and my wife. This sounds good, but it didn't stop there. Enoch said, for me, I'll spend a maximum of 40% of my worth. And right there, I was like, wow, some persons are taking this so serious. This is so intentional. Like, he already knows how many percentage of his worth he's going to spend. Now, let me explain that. He didn't say 40% of his monthly salary. No. He didn't say 40% of his annual salary. No. He said 40% of his worth. So, for example, if he starts saving, generally, when he's getting married, everything he has saved, he's going to spend 40% of that. That's a lot of money. Well, it depends on the person's nature of job, right? But that's okay. Let's keep going. No opinions yet. Let's keep going. That's good to hear. And then the reason why he said that, he explained. He said, I will need to be calculative because there is more after wedding. I need to be celebrated in a grand style as much as I can afford. So that's why he's willing to spend about 40% of his savings. Because wedding is just once, and I would love to make my woman happy. All the sisters, this person is single. I'd love to make my woman happy in all capacity that I can afford without putting future plans to chance. I'll leave how the money will be spent to my wife to be. I'll place her opinion above mine. Wow. I'm keeping certain amount of money monthly in foreign currency to avoid naira stories. This is so intentional. Like, he already figured it out. First of all, I have to summarize that, right? First of all, he said that, well, it depends on what you want. He listed some of the conditions, some of the things that couple has to sit down and deliberate on before they can, cut a budget to it. And after that, he said he is willing to spend 40% of what he has for his wedding. The next person said, oh my goodness, nothing is too much, honestly, but one can manage the available fund regardless of the amount. What do you think about that? Leave your comment in the comment section. The next person, I had one of the smallest weddings, but I can say for sure we spent over ₦1 million. Smallest, 1 million. So okay, I can understand that ₦1 million is something really small for some people, while for some other persons it's a big deal. I think your budget depends on how much money you have and willing to spend for the wedding, okay? Some people are willing to spend so much, most especially since it's one of the best things in their lives. Yeah. For my wedding, I'm willing to spend as much as ₦5 million. Wow, we have a lot of rich people on Instagram streets. As long as I can recover the money through investment. This is key. As long as I can recover the money through business investment. Anything that makes me happy is definitely worth putting my money into. Okay? The next person said 2 million, full stop. Nothing more, nothing less. This guy must be an evil guy. I never thought about it before, but I will give you my opinion. Yeah, it's actually hard sometimes to just sit down and start thinking, how much do I want to spend for my wedding? When actually the question has not been asked and the answer has not been given. You're not even seeing wedding, so you're talking about budget. What's that? But really, it's important for us to start thinking about these things now ahead of time. It's going to help us not to be in a rush, and it's also going to help us to make the right decisions in a very calm state, right? Okay, so this person didn't stop here. He or she went further to say that me and my husband, that is, she's a lady, me and my husband know how much we have, like knows her pocket, right? I really like small weddings, so she would like a small wedding. Are we counting the small weddings now? Like, they are really topping the list. And then this is for the last person that I picked their response. I had a personal budget of 1.5 million. So this guy is saying that, oh, before my wedding I had a budget of 1.5 million naira, excluding food. This was enough because my vendors, the vendors I used were my friends. So this is something to really buy, using people that you know can deliver something, and at the same time you get to enjoy the benefit of getting low prices because they are your friends or your close pals. So that's cool. So food was 50k, so in all about 2 million naira. Okay, that's really nice. Thanks to all my friends and my neighbors on Instagram street that contributed to this discussion. These are their opinion. What are your thoughts about this? I would love to know about your thoughts. Leave it on the comment section. But before I go, I would like to share my thoughts with you. I'd also like to tell you why I said that my wedding was kind of different at the beginning. My thoughts on wedding budget. First of all, there are two things that are very essential in a wedding. The first one that is very expensive, the most expensive part of the wedding in my opinion, is the readiness to do life with the person. I love celebration. I love partying. I love looking good. I love eating good food. I love marrying with friends. Or am I able to afford the most important part of my wedding or marriage? I have to say that there is no wedding without a marriage, but there is definitely a marriage without a wedding. In my case, I went straight for what I wanted, and that was the marriage. I did all the necessary things, but I ensured that it was as normal as possible. So the part of the wedding that is very, very expensive is, do you know your spouse's stand? I've realized that many people get married when they are asked to get married. And many people get married because they see someone that seems to be like somebody they can marry. But too many a time, we are busy with the vendors we want to have for our wedding, the wedding planner, our hair, our clothes, our shoes, how we're going to please our parents and our friends, and we forget to answer the singular question: marriage. Can I afford it? Do I have the budget for it? Have I made budget for what I'm going to see in the wedding, after the wedding? That is the most expensive part of planning a wedding. And how can you know if you can afford this? First of all, I'd like you to sit down if you're a believer and pray. It is very essential. One of the things I spent the most of my time to do before I got married or while planning my marriage was to pray. I prayed with my husband and I prayed for my husband. I prayed for God to show me if he has the right intentions for me. I need to know for sure if what he's saying, will you marry me, was not something that was on the surface. Some people love you for the impression. Some people love you because they want to have someone that looks like Mariah Carey. Or they want to have someone that has a Bentley. They don't really love the actual you. So you need to know that you're doing this with someone that has the same intention as you do. The moment one person's hand is the only one left on the plow, that's trouble. It has to be two people on a mission together, on the same pace, with the same focus at the same time. That is what makes marriage work. The moment one person is dragging behind, you're not married. Something is wrong. There's trouble. You can't function effectively. At work, it rubs off work, it rubs off your mood, everything. So that, in my opinion, is the most expensive part of planning a wedding. And you must be able to get to that point where you are 100% sure that yes, we're doing life together as a team. Yes, let's take this journey. Let's go on this journey. Yes, let's do this. Once you can afford that, every other thing in a wedding comes next. So whether there is an MC or there is no MC, whether there is a gown or there is no gown, it doesn't matter. Why? Because you have invested and you can afford the most expensive thing in the marriage. So if you have the money to throw around for every other thing, of course you can. But please ensure that you are buying the most important things first. Ensure that you are paying the most important price. Ensure that you are knocking the most important door. Once you are able to afford that, everything else can follow. So let's talk about the budget. I'm going to go in two ways. Let's talk to the ladies first. Ladies, we have the kind of wedding we want to have in our minds. We already have our dream wedding. When I was single, I already kind of knew what I wanted as a lady. I kind of knew the kind of wedding I wanted. I'm a minimalist, and my wedding is a direct definition of that. I didn't have to wear the white dress. Nah. I didn't have to, hire an event planner. No, I didn't do any of that, and I'm still married. But if you are someone who wants to do all of that, it's beautiful. Let's do what makes us happy. But at the same time, let's be ourselves. Do not try to please people. Do not try to buy the opinion of people. Try to do it the way you feel is right. And not just feel, but know is right. Try to do it the way you know is right. Seek advice from people who are way older and who have gone on before you. That is one of the richest things that I got before I got married. The advice I got from people that were older than I am, that were more experienced, that had seen life ahead. It was something that I can't trade. It helped me restructure some of the things that I was thinking about. It guided me. It was like a light on my feet. Like I could walk knowing that I could see the next step. It was so easy for me to go through my wedding with good advice from older people. You can call them not fashionable, but their advice are resourceful. They tell you things that stand the test of time. And that's one of the things that I recommend. And when it comes to having your wedding, I want you to know that at that point, it is our wedding. So whatever you and your husband agree on, you have to respect our more than you respect my. You have to begin to see the other person as important. Not just I want this, I want that. While that is beautiful, to, pursue, it's also important to know that while you are saying yes I do, you are saying myself with someone else. So while you want to buy this and that, and the other person that you have said yes I do to is saying, can we not do it that way, can we do it this other way, you have to remember that when you said I do, you also said I do to his opinion. So try to always meet at a point. Try to always see the other person's view with a clear mind. That way you both will do your wedding like you want it. Not like one person wants it, but like we want it. Another thing I'd like to also tell you when you're preparing a budget is to write a list of the things you can afford and the things you cannot afford. Write a long, comprehensive list and spend more time editing the list. So when you have a list of everything that you really want, you're going to know that for sure. I really wanted my entry to be with a Bentley. So it's on your list. But when you're now calculating the amount, that's the best time to tick those things you cannot afford out. Why am I saying this? As very irrelevant as that sounds, it's actually good for your mental health. It helps you to know that, oh, while I love to have this thing, because I don't have it, I'm going to scrap it out. And I am scrapping it out because right now I'm at that point where I cannot afford it. That way, your mind understands that though you want some things, but you can't get them now, the future is promising you probably will get them in the future. So you are at peace with your final decision. But when you forcefully deny yourself from the things you truly want, you might be married and you're very unhappy. You get to find yourself sometimes wishing that you did things the other way. Wishing that you gave your funny dreams, I'm sorry to say, a try. So be at peace with yourself. You're not fighting yourself while you're trying to plan things. And sometimes there might be a little bit of heat up here and there from disagreements and, one person not hearing the other person, the other person not hearing the other person. Just ensure that you both are a team and you follow through the principles guiding your marriage through even after the wedding. So I think I've said a lot, and I hope that you have been able to pick a thing or two from my lot. And if you have anything more to add to the little that I've said, the comment section is open for you. Leave your comment. If you would like to say something from your wealth of experience, do not forget to also leave it on the comment section. Till I come your way next time, I want to say thank you very much for taking your time to watch the video. Thank you for taking your time to like and subscribe. Expect more wonderful content like this in the nearest future on different areas of your life. Have a great time and stay focused, stay on top, and be the best. This is Core Talk with Ami. Bye.